Hey everybody, today I want to talk about signs from spirit, but a specific way that spirit can send signs. Not all the ways, because there are many ways that spirit can send signs. Today I want to talk about how they can text you using your cell phone, how they can call you on your cell phone. Yes, they can call you many other ways, but this is specifically a video about cell phones and how, as we moved along as humans, meaning more technology, they have now more ways to communicate with us. And a lot of the times, our signs aren't asked for. The messages from spirit don't come after we ask, they just arrive. However, there have been times, I'm sure, with me as well as any of you that are listening, where we might have poo-pooed it away, doubted it, and said, there's no way that could be spirit. That was just a fluke. I'm going to tell you, it's not a fluke. And when we as a collective begin to experience more and more, because we are aware of them, they will send more signs. The one specifically I want to talk about. Now, I've had many signs from spirit. If you've been following me for a while, you know that. You've seen and heard a lot of my spirit signs. I love the ones, especially that years and years later, I can think about and they still make me giddy. They still allow me to even more understand how much spirit is right here with us, our loved ones, other dimensions, star beings, right here beside us, taking full advantage of the tools that we have, literal tools, our cell phone. So here's the story. Just over 10 years ago, my daughter and her good friend packed up and moved everything to New York City. They decided that if they were going to get jobs in their field, that they had to move to New York City. They had some money saved up, and I think my daughter's dad gave her some cash to hang out with for a while. But they left and moved without having jobs. They told me, I want to say on the 1st of, I think it was March, February, March. I know it was winter. She said to me, I'm moving to New York. And I said, what? When? She said, we're going now to go look for apartments. So her and her friend drove to New York, looked at apartments for a day, found one, came home, packed up everything. And within 15 days, they were in New York City. I was living in Virginia at the time with my cousin and his wife, Carrie. And it was 2 years or so after I had started seeing spirit and I was practicing more with them. However, I had always been receiving signs. So it really wasn't anything new to me to receive signs. There were just different signs that I was receiving now that I was more focused on the possibility of hearing, sensing, seeing those signs outside of me as well as inside. So they moved without jobs. I think, yes, dad helped her move down there, stayed for a couple days. I was going to arrive in 4 or 5 days via the bus, or maybe I drove, don't remember. And I was going to drive up there and help them unpack and maybe look for a job. So it's about 2 days before I'm going to leave for New York City, and I get a text from my daughter, and it says, I just got an email about a job. I was so excited. I ran downstairs and I told my cousin Carrie about it, and she saw it. She looked at it. She says, great. Are you going to text her back? And I said, I'll just wait a couple of days. I'm going to be there in 2 days. I'll wait. I'll let her process this. Get up to New York City. I walk in her apartment and I said, so tell me about the job. She said, what job? I said, you texted me 2 days ago to say you got an email about a job. Did you email them back? Did you apply? She said, Mom, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, you texted to me, Carrie saw it. So I immediately called Carrie, my cousin, and I said, didn't we get a text from Carly? And she said, yes. So I looked at my phone, it wasn't there. Carly looked at her phone, my daughter, it wasn't there. The text had disappeared, but I had proof because two of us had seen it that I wasn't dreaming it. We just go along about our day, and I've spent a couple of days there, and I'm helping her look for a job. So she's on one couch, I'm on the chair. We both have our computers in front of us, and she gives me the parameters of the jobs that she's looking for, and I just start scrolling. And we're quiet, there's nothing going on. And I find a job that looks good. So I grab the link, I put it in an email, and I send it to her. She says to me immediately, why are you emailing me this? Why don't you just G-chat me? And I said, I have no idea what you mean by G-chat. This was over 10 years ago. She said, here, and she showed me. I said, okay, well, the next one I will. But this one, I emailed her. Within 5 minutes, she gets a phone call. She doesn't answer it, it goes to voicemail. So I see her check her phone, and she smiles, and I'm like, what? She says, I got an interview. I said, where? She said, the post that you emailed me, I sent my resume. They called me back within 5 minutes and want to do an interview. It was a temporary service that for a temporary job. They didn't tell her where it was, but they asked her, did she like sports? Did she like concerts? So after that, we figured, oh, it's got to be someplace big, maybe a big venue. It turned out to be Madison Square Garden, and she stayed with that company for 8 years. But back to the email I sent her. It was days after the interview. She got the job immediately. She walked in, she walked out. They told her they'd call her in a couple of days. Well, they called her within 10 minutes and said, you have the job. And it turned into a full-time position, no longer temporary. Again, she stayed there for almost eight years, long time. Did great there. I realized the text I received when I was in Virginia was from the universe, from spirit. And remember what it said. She had said to me in the text, I just got an email about a job. I sent her, when we were sitting in her living room, I sent her the link through an email to the job that she got. The universe sent me a text predicting the future. Now, if I had doubted it, if I had forgotten about it, or if I had immediately texted her back and said, what about the job? She might have said, I didn't send you a text, and then it would have all just blown up there. However, since I had started seeing spirit, and there were many instances where my cousin and I had received some very specific signs, voices in the house, TVs going on and off, just since I moved there and started seeing spirit and practicing to become a medium. Can spirit send you a text? The universe. They can do whatever they can do. However, if we don't receive it, or if we doubt it, therein lies spirit's challenge. Do I think they're going to stop sending you signs if you doubt or don't see? I don't have an answer to that. I think that's your work with the universe and spirit, because it's all part of your lesson. My lesson was that text. My lesson was telling my cousin. My lesson was making it clear to my daughter that this happened and how in sync the universe was between the two of us. Has this ever happened to me before? It hasn't, yes, later on in my career as a medium, but during that time in Virginia, I was working at a car wash, And people came through, they paid, I moved them along. And there were some people standing in the lobby, and the guy was looking at his phone, and I heard him say, "My mother's calling." And his wife give him a look, and they're just so confused because then it hung up. So I asked, "Hey, is there a problem? Is something wrong?" I forget what I said. And he said, "Well, I just got a call from my mother. My mother's passed. She passed a while ago." And I said to him, is it an anniversary? Is it a birthday? Is today something special to your mom?" They both looked at each other again, amazed, and he said, "Oh, it's my mother's birthday today." So I've heard many stories of spirit, the universe, your loved ones coming through that way. And now, again, if you've been following me with my spirit voices, EVP, that I've been recording for the last couple of years, they're doing that also. They're coming through on my voicemail. If I get a weird phone number I don't answer, it goes to voicemail. And I've heard spirit talking through the phone. I've also recorded on my recordings on my iPhone. I went out to a cemetery and I recorded just nothingness. And when I took it home and extrapolated all the other sounds out, there were voices. So you can look at all my EVP Spirit Voices playlist here on YouTube, or you can look at any of my social media accounts where I have recorded those videos and I share them on social media. So I'd love to hear any of your stories where spirit has come through for you, the universe has come through for you, whether it was with a phone or with the TV or your computer, because we know it can happen. Leave no room for doubt. Slow down and open up to the fact. It is a fact that the universe can do this, will do this, and are wanting you to see it, sense it, feel it. Ask or don't ask, you're going to get the messages that you're meant to receive. This is what you are doing right now is your purpose. Keep walking along in presence. Thanks for joining me, everybody, and write your comments. If you're listening to this on my podcast, give it a rating and a starred review, leave a comment. I would love that. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody.